Today we're talking about Airtable, a really cool tool that you can use for so many different things. We're going to go through how you can use it as a CRM, as well as some of the other applications that you can use it for, all using their Omni tool, which will set things up for you, and then you can just configure the endpoints and you'll be off to the races. So this is their landing page. When you go to their website, you'll see that they're really pushing their new Omni plugin, which will generate dashboards and things on the fly, which is a really good way to start your automation journey and get more insights and strategies around leveraging your CRM and operating your business. So let's get into it. You'll see here is their Omni AI agent. You can tell it exactly what you want it to build, and it will build it for you. So whether that's a CRM, talent pipeline, decision log, you can even get a whole bunch of suggestions here as you click, stakeholder map, innovation hub. Anyway, let's dive into this. This is your dashboard, and you can see you have different hubs. You can imagine these like your baseline spreadsheets that you can populate with data. This is a CRM that I built yesterday that has some very basic information here. Let's see, you can import your existing contacts from whichever format you have, and then it will load it into the database here. You can also sync it. So let's say you have a Google spreadsheet where you're tracking everything. You can just sync that, and then it will automatically import things as that sheet gets updated. And then you see a whole bunch of extensions that you can do to increase the functionality of this as you dive into it. But let's look here at a spreadsheet, which will have a lot more functionality as you do all the integrations, different views, and all of this. So you can see you have your fields, which there's a whole bunch of different options. When you click edit field, you can see all of the different formats. You can even see on some of these, they have links to other records and a whole bunch of other insights that you can use to quickly gain insights into your existing data. This is the main grid view. It's just your list of information, and you'll note that you can even create a form that you can share with clients or use with your team to ingest new information and get them added to that grid very easily. This can be a link that you have on your phone, or you can send it out to everyone that needs it. Below this grid view, you can see a different view. This is a kanban board, which is often used for project tracking to figure out what state various items are in. So for a CRM, you often want to categorize people into where they fit within your pipeline. Are they new? Are they in progress? Have they been closed? Are they qualified? And you can add new fields as you see fit to categorize all of your contacts. You see there's another view that you can create, and you just make these by clicking create new, select the format that you want to see it in, and then configure it just a bit to gain useful insights into your data. So this one can be sorted by follow-up date, so you know, hey, I haven't contacted this lead in quite some time, and that list is right here, so you don't have to dig through all of your previous contacts and see where they're at. You've got your sorting functions. Here, there's another view where you could see your new leads filtered by status, so only the leads that show up that are new, and again, your lead form. So this at the top is your hub. This is what you click on from your dashboard, and then these are your sheets. You can see our CRM has a leads sheet, a companies sheet, and a tasks sheet. And we'll get into how this tasks sheet can be super useful with automations. So this would be where you'd keep all of your company's information, and then you can link people to those companies. So let's say you have leads here. You could say John Snow companies. He works at Winterplow. And then if you want to see the company data, you can have that. So there's a linking relationship that you can utilize to connect related data. And then tasks, again, we have our grid view, our kanban view, and then other filtered views that we could gain useful insights in. So that's kind of the spreadsheets, the different views that you can create and filters that you can use to leverage that information. Now let's dive into automations. Under automations, you can see there's a create new tab, which will allow you to set up what the trigger is. For example, this one is when a record matches conditions. So let's say that form was filled out and they were defaulted to new, then it could trigger an action, which we see here, send an email, which could be your welcome email. We have just a default here. You can actually dynamically generate the content within that email based on whatever information is in that sheet. So you can see here, name from company is now qualified with their email and phone number. So that could be sent directly to you. So as soon as they're ingested, you know to give them a call, or you could do something like, let's say, create record. And so from here, you'd add a description, add task to contact lead. And then what the action will run, you say your task list, and then you can choose the fields, and then select task name, and then it can generate a task for you or your team to know that you need to follow up on. So that's really cool for automations, whether it's sending emails, creating records for task lists, things of that nature. You can also do more complex things with running scripts, sorting lists, finding records. You can even generate things with AI. So for that email, if you wanted to generate an email on the fly, you could just specify what the prompt would be, and then use that information to populate that email before you send it. So you can connect to all sorts of other applications to make things integrated, or there's even API endpoints that you can use if you're a developer to do more complex integrations, say with N8N or Zapier, things like that. Next, we have interfaces, which is a really cool tool that you can use to visualize your data. Now, these interfaces can be shared publicly or remain private for just your team, but they can do things like showing the client where they are with their project, or giving them a dashboard with metrics that you've been aggregating into Airtable for them to visualize where their project is, what their metrics are, things like that. So that can all be done within Airtable. So what you're seeing here is an interface, and then each of these steps within this are layouts. So you can choose multiple layouts, whether that's gallery, kanban, calendar, timeline, and so on. And you can use that to really figure out, okay, what do I want to offer this interface based on the information within this table? You can see here there's overviews, you can do calendars or timelines, or just lists of information with the specific fields that you want to see here. So now that we've covered some of the basics of Airtable, I want to show you how quickly you can create new functionality that you can start leveraging for your business. So let's say we're ready to gain some more insights. Let's do an OKR tracker. So objectives and key results. We'll click build it. Now Omni is going to do its thing, figure out what sorts of fields should be present, and it will even auto-populate with sample data so that you can get a better idea for what it's built and how you can leverage it to be useful. So something to note here, you're not limited to just text information. You can add photos, you can add videos, you can embed all sorts of content into each of the fields in these tables. And it does a really good job of tracking all of that and making sure that the data remains visible and useful in any of those screens where you're using that information. See, here you can see that you have key result names, objectives, owning teams, OKR period. It's really doing a good job of fleshing out all of the information that you may or may not need. Once it's created, you can delete those fields and columns. And you see here, it auto-generated an interface which can show you the goals, objectives lists, progress and analysis. So this can be your one-stop shop for all of the data that's been ingested over time. So now it's completed creating this. We can see here our grid view with our sample information. It didn't configure any automations, but you could set those up, and then you see all of your analysis in your dashboard. That's it. That's what Airtable does. There's a ton of functionality that you can leverage in order to get a CRM going and to get automations out the door. You could even track leads. So let's say you send out an email, you receive a response, you move them into a new category, and now it's time to send them another set of emails to, let's say, further qualify them, acquire information, and then send them new emails with proposals, invoices. All of that can be done right from within this one tool, while also integrating to all of your other tools. If you like this sort of video where I'm diving into some of the new tools that people are using with AI technology embedded directly into them, subscribe and like this video. My purpose with all of this is to enable small businesses to keep up in this changing technological era. My name is Austin Gailey. I've been a software developer for the past decade, and now I'm pivoting to serve small businesses to help them keep up in this age of AI and the changing landscape that brings.